Hello everybody, welcome back to another return of the War Thunders, and this time I'm going to be doing the 5.7 Russia lineup, and this is something that I should have already put out. It was requested by quite a few people actually, and I don't know why I really put it off, but here it is. This is actually meant to go into a playlist and also hopefully going to coexist with the 5.7 German lineup, so if you haven't watched that, there's a card above my head. So that you can go and quickly go and look at that either before or after. It doesn't really matter. But this is going to be a new format as well. I'm going to be covering, hopefully, free-to-play lineups first. Then I'm going to be going to more of a premium lineup. And that also means for the free-to-play, all tech tree vehicles, only 5 slots. Because that's the amount of slots that you can get for, Silver Lions, right? You can only buy 5 slots for Silver Lions, but the rest are Golden Eagles. So that's what I'm hoping to do. And this is going to be, I think, a free-to-play game, because I only use one tank in this. We're playing on Abandoned Factory, and this is a map that I particularly enjoy a lot of the time, especially when the games go well. Here we are, starting off of the game with a kill. T-34 just not even fucking realizing that I'm there. I also charge the area between B and C. I wouldn't really recommend it because it's extremely open and you're going to be struggling trying to defend yourself where there's basically no cover and no way to try and get your opponents to go in a direction that you want them to. You know, like that whole thing of controlling the battlefield stuff. You can't really do that as well in this specific portion of the map. There's an Oosh. The new Oosh has come out for recently. They're on the autocannon. I blow its wheel off, destroy its transmission, and then I get the assist on that, so yeah. So I'm already at 2 kills, 1 assist. I think that's fucking delicious, to be honest. But I wouldn't recommend going here. It's just a very dangerous place, so I'd suggest you at least avoid it and come back here later in the game. Don't go here at the beginning, because you'll probably just end up getting one shot from one place or another. It's so open, it's so vulnerable, it's not very good. But now I'm going to C point. But we do have an object to 11, and I shoot its barrel out, which is fucking lucky, honestly. Go up to it, and I end up killing it, except, no, he actually ends up exiting his vehicle. So, not really a kill, but yes, because, the game counts it as a kill, so I'm going to count it as well. And we do have a tank on the left side as well, and I want to keep my tank close to the carriages here. What I'm hoping is my ally is not gonna... I'm hoping for my ally to not look underneath the carriages, because there's a chance that he'll see my tracks, and if he sees my tracks, he'll obviously know where I am. And yes, you can shoot through all of these carriages. They do have, like... they can take a bit of a beating. They do have, like, a health bar that you need to go through, but it's very small, and you can shoot through those carriages and kill them. But obviously, here comes the ARL, thinking that he's got the upper hand, and it just fucking dies, which is hilarious. And I go back to the place I was before, between B and C, now that I've cleaned up all the tanks around here for right now. I don't see anyone as I'm approaching, so I cut across to the other side. Hopefully, my plan is that I have enemy tanks passing me, and then that means I can get myself some easy kills, because at this BR, people don't generally tend to check this factory that's been destroyed. Quite a nice hidey spot, but it's also a place where you can easily get killed. We've got giant doors where the... pardon me. Giant holes in the wall where the doors are meant to be. Therefore, you have loads of space to get shot. So, you gotta know what you're doing. Gotta be awake when you're going there, but it can be really fun to hold that position. See no one, though. I go to B point, and then I see a tank there. I take a couple of shots at him, and I end up killing him. Turns out he was actually a Stutzwagen. And, yeah, I'm just glad he was facing away from me, because he could have easily killed me. But, right place at the right time, that's all that was. I end up going to B, I end up starting to cap it, and then I'm aware that there are tanks at A that I need to kill. Mainly because, as I'm looking through my binoculars, I can see the engine smoke through the windows. So obviously that means there's a tank there, and that means I could potentially get a shot in and get a free kill or two. But it's a bit difficult to judge where exactly the tank is. I think the tank in this instance was actually around the corner, like out of my sight, out of my just around the break, just around the corner. So he had cover. I couldn't shoot him. So that was unfortunate. But he did actually come out again, and I did get him. So I damaged him. His crew are dead. All the ones that matter, like the loader, commander, gunner. So it isn't really a necessity for me to go and kill him. So I just leave him for now. Let him on him. I'll let one of my allies kill him. And then I noticed that there's a tank coming up. I don't really know what it's going to be. But then he takes a shot at me, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll just fucking kill you then. And then, yeah, he ends up dying for it, because he was a little too eager. Or either that, or he just misjudged, and his shot ended up doing nothing to me. I wait a bit more, and then there's another vehicle coming in. And it's actually an anti-air, which is surprising enough. The game isn't quite over yet, but even so, it's just not that common to see anti-airs come up this far in an urban map where they don't have a lot of hilly terrain. They can't just sneak up and fire at you. So he's completely oblivious. I take a shot, I fire at him, I kill him. It was actually very easy. And I just stay at B until I feel like it's safe to go out, and I head out again. And yeah, no one's killed me this far, which is actually pretty impressive even for me. Because I at least die once in these high kill games. Because, there's a mistake that I make. It's a really annoying, really simple mistake. I make it, I die, but not in this case. I actually stay alive, which is, it makes me happy, honestly. It's one of my best games in the T-34-85. And I chose this tank specifically because it's actually my favorite T-34. The first time I saw this tank was at Call of Duty World at War, where, I can't remember the mission, but, you're on the Russian side. You got to one of the few missions you actually got to drive a tank, and I would always pick, or at least try to get the tank with the flamethrower, because it's just so much fucking fun. But yeah, that's the first time that I ever saw this. I didn't even know that it was called a T-34, let alone what specific kind of T-34. So I ended up using this one, and yeah, the rest is history. I've loved this version of the T-34. But regardless, there's nothing much that happens towards the end of the game. I mean, a lot of these enemies either didn't really make the best judgments, or they just didn't even see me in the first place. And that was really it. There wasn't really much skill from my part. I was just utilizing the mistakes that my opponents had made to give myself the upper hand. So I suppose in a way it's not really that impressive, but again, I like the fact that I didn't die once in this game. But concentrating on the match at hand, I did take a shot at this ARL, but regardless, I still go and drive toward it because I still think that I can juke it or whatever. And I look around the corner, I see him there. He lets me know that he sees me by firing up his machine gun at me. So I'm like, oh, what do I do now? Like he's there, and then he dies. So I didn't even manage to come up with a plan before he ended up getting killed by an ally. So I thought, yeah, that's fucking convenient, that is. Just go and capture C point. And then I see that there's a tank after my, I hear there's a tank after my left side, back where the factories are. Panther comes up, and I actually get this amazing shot straight through the turret ring. And that is actually a really hard place to shoot. Very, very difficult shot to make. Way more difficult than the cupola or anything else. I'm very happy that I got that. That was purely accident. And there's another tank right here, a light tank of some sort. Now, I thought that this was a Puma because of the fact that it was fast and it had aerials on it, and that the engine sound that it made reminded me of the Puma. And it was indeed a light tank, don't get me wrong. And obviously, him just hiding behind the wall here means that I can't do anything, unfortunately, so I kind of have to back out. I want to basically make him think that he is able to get to me without really suffering any consequences. I go around the corner, he peeks me, he fucks up his shot, because he was right there waiting for me, and then I kill him. And it turns out it's an EBR. And that's right where the game ends. So, yeah, this was basically a game where I just ended up punishing people who made mistakes. Not really any skill on my part, but I'm still proud that I didn't die once in that game. I would also like to point out that it's 5-3, right? The amount of score that I got in that mission, that meant that I would have actually gotten a nuke. Like, I would have actually been able to fly a plane out and drop a nuke that game. But, of course, it wasn't able to be done because I wasn't actually high enough BR to have been given the nuke. Because nukes start appearing around 6-7, not 5-3. So I was too low for the nukes to be available to me, which is a shame. But I still get 9 kills, so that's pretty fucking cool. And we're back on Hurtgen Forest. I know I'm going to keep mispronouncing that for God knows how long. But this is the single point variant. And funny enough, talking about nukes, this is the map that I've got my first nuke on. I was playing France and I managed to get a nuke. And I was playing with my friend as well. It was so good. Going against Germany, everybody was blind and I dropped my first nuke. And it was just, fucking great. I may actually do a video on that tank at some point. Hopefully get another nuke. But regardless, for this game, I managed to correctly judge how far the tank was on this M18. I damage it. And then I'm just hiding behind this hill because I want to be able to see where the tanks are going and see, just plan out where I'm going to travel to. Because this map doesn't have much cover. I got a couple of tanks covering my left flank. So I make my way down the mountain and go turn left across the river. Because again, like this map is really open. This is one of the few maps, while being small, it basically is just like a snipe fest, like heavy German tank destroyers. If I have a lot of armor, like the Ferdinand or the Jagdtiger, would be really good in this map. The IS-2 sometimes can be really, really good as well. I didn't take that though, because again, not the right BR. But I do, I make it up this mountain, the smaller mountain of the three. The 2S1 in front of me gets attacked. It deals with the attacker though. I think it was an M18 there. And we move on, and nothing really much happens. I'm driving, I'm trying to look for targets, so I end up crossing the river for a second time. And then I end up around where the enemy is traveling, and I instantly get a Sherman kill, I think. Oh, no, it wasn't. No, it was, I think it was a Jackson, actually. But as you can see, enemies passing in front of me. I somehow fuck up that shot, which I was quite annoyed about, because I could have easily killed him, even with APHE, because the ammo rack is literally just above where I shot him. So maybe that was just me misjudging it, I don't know. He comes back to me, however, for some reason, and decides to attack me in an anti-air, which is crazy. I don't know why he did this. I get his transmission, I get his gunner, and then there's another tank up the hill, and it's like, oh, I get shot behind me, and it's like, what's going on? The anti-air gets killed by my teammate, and so I look for this other tank that's in front of me, and I see that it's an M109, and this is the short barrel M109, so it's the G variant, which makes sense because I'm going against Germany, but there wasn't really a position that I could take to kill the M109, so this was a waiting game for a lot of the time. And I ended up not doing too much, but I wanted to try and bait the M109 forward into a more vulnerable position, so I'd be more comfortable taking a shot and killing him. But yeah, it took a while. It took a good 5 minutes to try and get that artillery piece to get to a position where I could kill him. But it did eventually happen. It really culminated in the fact that, again, the M109 whiffed his shot, missed me, and then I ended up killing him. Which was, again, it's a bit of a shame, but yeah, it's that thing. The game is incredibly punishing. Made a mistake, got killed for it, and then I get jumped by an M18, which I then end up killing very easily, in fact, and a motherfucking anti-air, which is exactly the same. Well, it's not exactly the same. It's a bit different from the one that fought me earlier, but again, that's 2 anti-airs that's tried to kill me. I disable it. I low HE. I'm thinking, yes, this is going to be an easy fucking kill. And I don't want to extinguish the fire too quickly, because sometimes when you extinguish the fire, you have to reload your shot. So the time that it took to load that shot, if it's not actually loaded in the breach, you'll have to go through that again if you extinguish the fire. I'm not sure why it's like that, but it is. I kill him, set out the fire, repair my engine, then I go forth. Whoops. And then I see an M41 just hiding out, looking for people. And I end up shooting him and forget that I have HE loaded. I don't know how, to be honest. But, yeah, you know, I just deal with him. He still dies because he still misses the shot again. I mean, this video really goes to show that you need to be really good at shooting people, because otherwise you're going to lose. This entire video has been punishing people who have been making mistakes, right? And yeah, not really a good video to show how good of a player I am. I'm just that these players, whether I intend to or not, they've just been messing up. So I see that there's an American tank down there, and I'm just like, yeah, you know what, I'll just wait. There's no need to engage him right now. But I thought, let's take this cheeky shot anyway, because I like endangering myself. It fails, but he still ricochets on me. I don't know how that's possible. Like, he should have killed me. And I thought, right, I've got to, now that I've shot, I've got to try and engage him from a different angle, because he's going to be expecting me to peek him again. So I go just slightly to the right. So it means that he's more focused on me. And then he fucking dies as I'm emerging from the horizon, which is, you know, I guess it's kind of expected. Like, the game's over. We're camping the point. And there we go. 5 kills, 2 assists. It's all over. So, yeah. That's, those were some really fucking simple games. So now that I've shown you some good games using Russia, I want to show you something that, you know, isn't so good. Because when you're playing War Thunder, you're going to have so many of these games where you're not going to be able to win, and the match will look incredibly bleak. And I'm not the best person to be saying that, because I don't even practice this myself. I'm aware, right? Sometimes the game just makes you really angry, right? But regardless, this game on Mozdok, it was frustrating to say the least. As you can see, I'm taking out the PT-76. Not typically a vehicle that I would use in this situation, but because this is such a large map, and because Russia just doesn't do well with hills at all, I thought that this would be the best thing for me to take. Even though this is, I would consider one of the worst light tanks in the game that you can actually use as a light tank because of it having scouting. This would have been the most beneficial thing for me because, well, I could scout people, so hopefully my allies would be able to know where the enemy is, and they could actually take them out. And obviously, if I scout an enemy, and if that enemy gets killed by an ally of mine, then I will get some silver lions, and I'll get an assist. In most cases, if you play it well, it could be one of the laziest ways to get a nuke, I suppose, but, you know, it was needed this game, because this can get... this map is just very boring sometimes, because both teams can get entrenched in their respective areas on the map, and there are a lot of places where you can just... For example, you go to B, and B has sightlines into both enemy spawns, which is just unfair. Among other things, like some sightlines at the rear of the map, where you can park, I don't know, a HE slinger on a hill, and you can just kill enemies from afar, if your aim is good enough. And you can hide between, like, hills on the edges of the map and do the same thing. There are plenty of places to do it in, right? But regardless, I took the PT-76. I thought it would be the best vehicle to use in this instance. And besides, like, it's just not a vehicle that I typically play anyway. So, what you've been seeing is perhaps a lucky thing for me, right? I had 3 French tanks on a hill, and they were shooting at me as I was moving from cover to cover, and they knew I was there, right? Because they knew I was a light tank, which doesn't have much armor, and they know that I've been poking out, having to look and shit. Thankfully, I didn't die, but there were 2 ARL-44s and an M4 FL-10. Thankfully, I got 1 kill and a couple of assists, but that was a very sticky situation. I'm actually glad that bomber came in and killed the enemies, because I don't think I would have been able to do that myself. Thankfully, I know the map a little bit, so I just have to follow the river down, and then I see a Japanese tank, which is the Chiri 2. Hey, remember that? You know, it was some excellent gameplay of how you should play the Chiri 2. Not like what this clown did. Then go watch my other video of the Japanese tanks. But anyway, I kill him quite easily. For some reason, he doesn't fire on me, because you know he should be able to see me. I'm not in very good cover at all. I go for the bit. I see this Panther. I take a shot on him because he could definitely see me and he could definitely have a shot. I don't want him to kill me just yet, so I take the upper hand and I shoot him first. Doesn't matter if I kill him. I just want him disabled. I see a tiger. I want to go after him, but he's just behind the rock, so it's not quite there, right? It's not quite out in the open enough. And then an AR-44 just comes and fucking kills me. Which is really annoying, because I can't do anything to that. My round, because it's not spaded yet, my APHE round only has 96 millimeters of penetration, which is very annoying. So I lost that light tank. That means I couldn't scout anymore, because that's the only light tank that Russia has at this BR. So I had to delegate myself to sniping. And look, I'm immediately getting hit from B. And that's one tank peeked out, hit me. Thank God he ricocheted. But as you can see, that there are a lot of places where you could also hit tanks that are moving from the center of the map, like to the bottom side. But you're just so weak. You've got no cover, right? Like you can drive up to the hill, but you're not in immediate cover once you spawn. Very bad map design. I fucking hate it. I really do. But I have to help this M6. There's a tank over there. I did see a tiger at one point, scuttling across, which dismayed me a bit because I kind of wanted to kill it. I try and shoot this tiger, but I'm annoyed and I'm worried. I'm annoyed because we're now being spawn camped, and there's not much we can do about it. It's like, I don't have a plan of action, because if I stray too far from the spawn, I will get killed, because it'll just be however many tanks versus me, and there just isn't much counterplay in this situation. So I'm just hoping that one of these shots lands and kills the tiger. It can be a bit hard to see because there's fire in the way, and yeah, I didn't duck back in time, and then the fucking Centurion killed me. So it's like, right, you know what? I'm taking the IS-1 out. I have to get it out. I have to do something with it, even if I only damage a few of the tanks, because this is basically going to be my last chance to be able to make a meaningful impact on the game, because there really aren't that many allies on the map. For some reason, there's someone at the top left of the fucking map doing nothing. I don't know what the hell his plan was, but I don't see him actually doing anything productive. So I have to take my IS-1, which is ironically the most armored tank that I have at this BR, which is basically useless in this map. But again, all I have, and I try and do something with it. So I'm driving. Try to get somewhere with it. And then I do actually see a little tank that, does actually shoot me. And I fire at it, kill it instantly. I had to be quick with this. Like, I'm familiar with the 88 millimeters, or 85. No, it's an 85 mil cannons that these tanks have. So I roughly know how far to aim up to get the round to where it needs to be. But you're gonna need to be snappy. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, if you take too long, you'll just end up dead. But unfortunately, I didn't see the fucking waffle that was right next to him, so I ended up dying. I take my tank destroyer, kill an ARL-44, and at this point, it's like, well, the game's over. Like, even if I was better in this game, I couldn't do much, because your team will just get wiped, right? And the thing that I want to impart as much as possible is to still try and play the game, right? Even if you don't want to play the game, try your damnedest to get one more spawn in, because then you can practice your shots, especially if it's on a tank that you don't regularly use. Like, sure, you'll probably die, right? You're gonna die regardless if the game's lost, but what else can you do, right? So, practice those shots, get those kills in. You might end up with 500 more research than you otherwise would have gotten, right? But sometimes you just have these maps, and I'm just also saying that there was nothing I could have done. So it was just a lost game, and that was it. And then, of course, the game gives me the exact same fucking map in the next game. oh my god, you could tell how fucking annoyed I was because I even turned my fucking camera back on. This fucking game, same map every single fucking time. God damn it! Look, it's the same spawn point. It's the same exact map. Fucking Christ, dude! Like, what am I meant to do at this point? No, let's stop asking that question. There isn't going to be anything that I can do. No matter how many people tell me otherwise, because there just isn't. Confirmed, like, War Thunder doesn't have a map pool. It just, oh no, not a map pool, a map rotation. It doesn't have a map rotation. Holy fucking shit, dude. And look, like, you could tell the passion, the desperate passion that I have in my voice. But after that mini rant of mine, that match was somehow way fucking better than the one I did last time. And we ended up winning very quickly, and obviously I got killed. I killed myself, to be honest, because I was so desperate to get kills. I made a simple mistake and I got myself killed. And then it was just a thing of, well, let's spawn camp them. And the last few kills I got was because I spawn camped them, unfortunately. But honestly, I have no clue how the hell the game before was absolutely terrible, and then the game after, the same fucking map with similar fucking countries on both teams, how it went drastically differently. Fucking drastically. Now, I guess you just have to have the right players. And again, if people tell you that you have a skill issue, this is a big thing. It's funny up until the point, because you can't control how good your teammates are, and that needs to be said, right? I know people may know this, but it's important to say, because otherwise you're going to think that it's always your fault. I do that because I'm convinced I can do better, even if my team is shit. I personally want to be the person that carries the entire team through any fucking match. And I'm working towards that. But I know not everybody's going to want that. They're just going to want to play the game because it's a video game, not because it's a job. And for me at the moment, it's sadly a job. But my point is that you can't control how good your team is when you go into a game. So, regardless of what people tell you, if it's something that was genuinely out of your control, then there's nothing you can do about it. You've got to suck it up. You've got to move on, right? So, yeah, this game somehow just went way better than the last one. And, yeah, that left me with a sour taste, sadly. But that was essentially all the content that I've got for you right now. Because, sadly, I did have some other videos, some other source footage to put into this video, but I kind of just misplaced it for whatever reason. If I do end up finding that, I will still make a video out of it, because I was playing, I know that the game that comes to mind, I was Middle East, I was on the map Middle East, and I was playing the IS-1, and I was up against Germans, and there were I was against a building, there were two Panthers down both the left and right sides, and I killed both of them because both of them whiffed their shots. It went from really tense to really funny in the span of a minute, and it was good footage, and I'm really sad that I didn't get to put it in this video, because I have no idea if I deleted it or not. I need to have a look. I need to find it. But other than that, that's all I've got for you today. It's not quite as good as I would have hoped it to be, but, you know, I've been busy grinding and all that shit, playing sim battles and helping other people out grinding, so, you know, it is what it is. I tried to play with different tanks, and it didn't really work well. I find that I really enjoy using the T-34-85, so if you do actually end up unlocking that tank, please give it a go. It is such a good tank. I would say, like, IS-1 comes second, T-34-85 is first for me, 100%. I don't know what I would do without a T-34. Even use the D5T, because that's basically the same thing, but just, like, ever so slightly worse. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've got for you for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you once again. If you have an idea of what country, what BR you want me to do, put them down in the comments below. And if someone else has suggested what you want me to do, then just like the comment so that I'll be more likely to see it. And the one with the most likes, or the top 3 comments with the most likes, I will end up doing. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for spending your time looking at this. I hope you come away with a little bit more knowledgeable. And if you want to ask me any questions, come to my Discord and then we can talk about it. Or you can message me in the comments. That's quite fine. So, enjoy your day. Thanks for watching. Cheers. For fuck's sake, I thought that would have been enough!